Hello everyone and welcome back to Real Estate with Brenda Rivera. On today's show, I have a very special guest by the name of Terry Darling from HomeSafe Inspections. Welcome, how are you?
I'm great, Brenda, thanks a lot.
So I'm so glad that you're here because a lot of buyers are looking for homes, and after we submit an offer, the next thing to do is to hire an inspector. So if you can talk to us about your business and the services that you provide.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me here today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So at HomeSafe, our mission is to empower real estate consumers with accurate, on-time, and easy to understand home inspections. And so how do we do that? Well, a couple of different ways. We provide your typical home inspection, which is going to, we test all your major components of the home and look for defects, make sure that everything is operating properly, and that goes from the structure, electrical, plumbing, all your windows and doors, all the way up through the roof. And that's your typical home inspection. And we offer a couple of ancillary services that a lot of buyers are interested in also, which are one being termite inspection,
Yes.
to let buyers know if there's any current termite activity or if there's any prior damage or evidence of repairs of prior damage or prior treatment, to let you know if there's anything going on with termites. And the other thing we also offer is radon measurement testing, which is something that a lot of buyers are less familiar with. Radon is a naturally occurring odorless, colorless gas, and it is in virtually every home in the United States at some level. We're breathing it at some level right now. Even outdoors, you're breathing it at some level. But we do test for that because radon at higher levels, at elevated levels, is a health risk. The EPA recommends radon remediation at a certain level as well, because it's the second leading cause of lung cancer after smoking. So we offer those three things: your radon, termite, and your home inspection. And most of our clients are buyers, but we do also serve all kinds of real estate consumers, including sellers who are looking for a pre-listing inspection, and also investors, who purchase properties all the time.
So this is the Radon Kit.
So this is a radon kit, right? At HomeSafe, we use RTCA Labs, and they're a terrific partner. In this radon kit, this is a charcoal kit. Inside is charcoal. We take this top off and let this breathe. It has to stay in the home for at least 48 hours. Which means we come back to pick it up. And then radon particles attached to the charcoal that are inside this kit. And this is how the lab can measure the level of radon in a home. Like I said before, radon's everywhere. It naturally breaks down from the rocks under the ground, but it is dangerous at a level, the EPA says it's dangerous at a level of 4.0 picocuries per liter or higher. For homes that are in that range, and there are some areas in New Jersey that have high radon levels. For homes that are in that range, the EPA recommends radon remediation. And we have some partners that we can recommend for that as well. Anything can be fixed in a home.
Yes.
I always tell buyers that. Anything can be fixed, and radon is one of those things that can be fixed as well. And a radon remediation kit, excuse me, will just take the radon that's in the home coming out through the basement of the slab, and basically a fan is going to take that and put it outside, out above into the air above the home. So, but it's one of those things that you want to know as a buyer before you get into a home: is my radon level high, and what do I do, if it is? So that's one of the things we offer.
Yeah, and I always recommend that as an agent anyway. To the buyers is get the inspection done, get the radon testing done, which is very important. And the test results usually are attached with the home inspection report. Correct?
Yes.
And so if it is high, we will negotiate with the sellers, so then that way we can get that fixed, and that way our buyers can be safe living in their new home.
Right.
So besides looking at pre-existing homes, there are a lot of new construction homes that are being built.
Sure.
What are one of the things that you would recommend also to buyers when they're looking into new construction homes?
Sure. Yeah. So, some buyers with new construction think maybe I can skip the home inspection. Maybe I don't really need it. It's new construction after all. You know, my municipal inspectors are going to be at the property, and I get that. However, there are things with new construction that are important to look at, maybe with another eye. A lot of times with new construction, we do find defects with you know, siding, sometimes with roofing, but the most common one that I find on new construction is natural gas leaks. And so that municipal instructor may be looking at the appliance to see if everything's properly connected and everything looks great, but they may not be going that extra step, you know, to check for a gas leak that maybe is present, but you couldn't smell it, you know, with your human nose.
Yeah.
So we do complete inspections for new construction, but the gas leak thing is the thing that, again, is the defect that we find most often. And how do we find that? Well, a home inspector has plenty of different tools in that bag, right? But one of them that your typical homeowner or maybe even municipal inspector doesn't have is a combustible gas leak detector. And we use this on every inspection that has gas or combustible gases at an appliance in the home to check for a gas leak, especially at your joints and areas like that. But on new construction, a lot of times these new high efficiency furnaces are right there in a closet off the kitchen, or sometimes in a bedroom, you know, in a condo or something like that, where gas is dangerous. So we use this. Last month we found a pretty significant leak at a new construction, and you know, we make sure our customers have it squared away before they close.
Yeah. Wow. So that's great, because I truly believe in having the right professionals in place, so then that way we can detect certain things, you know, especially you having great equipment, and you know, it's just all about looking out for the best interests of our buyers.
Absolutely.
You know, we're in this as a team.
That's right.
As I call it, a power team, you know. So what is the advice that you can give to buyers when they're actually on their way and looking at so many different homes? What advice can you give as an inspector?
Sure. For a buyer who's shopping, who's looking for a home, you know, think about the priorities that are important to you. Every buyer is going to be different. For some buyers who maybe they're more handy, or maybe they're up for a project, you know, they can look at a home and see what could be, you know. And then there are other buyers that want, you know, move-in condition, and I don't want to do anything except, you know, paint the walls and move in my things and be ready to go. So I would say, know the type of buyer that you are, and have a reasonable expectation based on, you know, your ability and willingness to, you know, make repairs that you need or not. You know, so know where you're at as far as that goes. Especially with, I have a lot of my customers are first-time buyers, and with a home inspection, obviously we're looking for defects in a home, right, to point those out. But beyond that, with any buyer, but especially a first-time buyer, the inspection is an education, right? So I don't just point out defects, I also point out how things operate. You know, they maybe came from a different type of living. You know, maybe they had lived in an apartment, you know, growing up, and they're leaving an apartment now and they're moving to a single-family home that has a completely different heating system. You know, they need to be educated on how that system is going to work and what their responsibilities are as a homeowner. So beyond, you know, looking for those repairs and necessary things, we always try to answer questions for people and give them an expectation of what it's going to be like for them to live in this property and maintain it as they do live in it. So I think those are all important things that a buyer needs to keep in mind as they're looking forward. A question I get a lot from buyers is, what are the most important things to look for? And the advice I typically give is, your structure is vital. If you don't have a good foundation on which you're built, it can cause all kinds of other problems. And the other thing is the roof. If you don't have a solid roof, water coming in causes a problem all throughout the house, you know, from every level. And
which can cause mold and things like that. So I know, you know, there are buyers that will look at a home, and the home is beautiful, you know, and then next thing you know, they get to the basement,
Yeah.
And then they see some spots on certain parts of the wall or things like
Sure.
that. So when it comes to that, because I know obviously we would need a mold specialist to confirm that
Right.
that's mold. But coming from an inspector side, what would you say when it comes to that type of situation?
Well, so when you have any type of growth that you see in a basement or anywhere else, the only way to determine if something is mold, like you said, is to have it tested environmentally to know for sure. Now, there are times where you look at something and you go, it's got to be, what it looks like. However, you really don't know until it's tested by an environmental professional. One thing to keep in mind with mold is it's not always just at the basement. I've seen plenty of mold in attics as well, which is why, getting back to the roof, all those flashings, all those roof penetrations where water can get in are really important that they're solid, because mold in an attic is almost as common as mold in a basement. So if you see things like that, if you have issues and concerns, it's always a good idea to take that next step and have it tested by a professional environmental company to make sure that it is mold or is not, and then they can also recommend the proper remediation.
Yes.
Just because mold is in a property does not mean that that property is no longer habitable or cannot be remediated.
Yeah, because I don't want them to turn away from the
shouldn't,
home, and you love the home, and so I just feel like, okay, let's get our inspector in, and then if we have to take it to the next step, which comes into hiring a mold specialist, then we'll do that. But yeah, most definitely.
And anything from mold, even structural issues, anything in a home can be fixed. So people should keep that in mind as they're shopping too.
And then we negotiate.
That's right. That's right.
We negotiate with the seller.
That's where you come in. Yeah.
So what areas of New Jersey do you cover? Because I see you everywhere on Facebook. I mean, I see you doing such an awesome job. Your clients are like taking pictures with this, and I just find it amazing. So you cover majority of New Jersey? So
we cover primarily from Middlesex County north. So central and northern New Jersey is our coverage area. Middlesex, Union, Essex, Hudson, Bergen, Hunterdon, and Warren counties. Yeah.
I just want to thank you so much for delivering such great information, because it's all about educating the buyers, educating the viewers, and also sellers as well. And just to put out there that HomeSafe Inspections can get the job done. If you visit them on Facebook, you see it, and they are just so happy holding this sign. And I'm also privileged to hold this sign too. And for having you here. So thank you all so much for watching. I will have Terry's information, HomeSafe Inspections, listed down below. Thank you so much for watching us on YouTube. It will be posted on Facebook and on Instagram. Please stay tuned for next week's show. We will have another great guest that will help you with your home buying process. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.